You know, back then I would say I was pretty nervous, but I would say the nervousness was more of an adrenaline of excitement.
Hmm.
I mean, I was always just like, I'm here, let's do it. I really want to do this. So I would just throw myself off these ledges that I would normally never do. And I just let go and was like, just put it out there. Just do
Hmm.
whatever they need to do whatever the script calls for. And some of them when I was young most of them actually were improv. Most of them, they'd hand you the 2 pages and they'd go, hey, we want you to improv a lot of this. So you know what it's
Hmm.
about, but just go ahead and improv it. And that was crazy as a 10, 11 year old. I was like, man, wait, what? I just get to make stuff up. But it was really fun, and it was just kind of excitement more than nervousness.
Yeah, and I bet I hear things like Disney Channel being kind of a boot camp for kid actors and teen actors. You just really learn the ropes early on, and you're thrown into it. In hindsight, what do you value most about your time going through that particular experience, and now obviously advancing into more adult roles? What do you take away from your experience on Disney?
Disney was, a lot of people think of it as a machine, but I mean, it's really not. It's more of a family. It's more of a family. I mean, they really they kind of mom and dad you, and they teach you the ropes. And I love it because it's not something like you can just throw around. It's a very intense business. And when it comes to media, when it comes to your life, walking around, like what happens on set, they really train you sternly about how the process works. And at a young age, it really taught me what I have looking forward in my life. Like I picked their brains as much as possible about how to be professional, about how this process works. And honestly, coming out of Disney, it gave me that work ethic because,
Hmm.
like I said, it was, I was really 11, 12. I was 12 when we started the first season, and it's up at 4:40 a.m. and home at 7, and school in between there, homework, reading scripts, memorizing for 6 months out of the year for 3 years. It's just a lot of work,
Yeah.
and it taught me that discipline, which obviously as an actor you have to be on your own case about what you're going to do. So no one's going to do the work for you, so it's all on your own, and it's however much work you want to put in. And Disney gave me a good jump of how much work that's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's an important lesson for anyone to learn, and it sounds like it came at the right time for you because here you are doing it now in or not a series, a project like He's All That. Tell us a bit about that experience. How did this opportunity come along? What was the audition process like? You could give us a tease on how it all started for you.
But this was wild.
Yeah.
And other actors, will really appreciate this because it was something we started auditioning in October, which was full COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was nothing going on. I was straight quarantined. LA was locked down.
So you weren't really auditioning in general.
No auditions.
Yeah.
There was nothing going on. And then I ended up getting this email that came through, and they were like, "Hey, we have an audition." And I was like, "What? Let's do it." And they were like, "Hey, it's going to be a Zoom with the directors and producers." And I was like, "Okay, Zoom. Do I really want to do this? Like, is this something that's real? Is this going to
Hmm.
continue, or like what's going on?" Ended up getting the script, read the script, saw that Addison was attached, saw that it was Miramax, saw that it was, Andrew Panay and Jennifer Gibgot, like huge producers, huge studio. And of course, Addison. I was like, okay, let me dive into the script and figure out why she's attached. And of course, it's about an influencer. So I was like, this is perfect. Like her of all people to lead this film
Hmm.
it's perfect. And I ended up auditioning. And the day of the audition, my character, by the way, I know you've seen the movie,
Hmm.
but my character is a complete douche. He
Right.
is just a tool bag. But I read in the script that he's shirtless over and over again. I keep seeing Jordan Van Dranden shirtless, shirtless,
Hmm.
shirtless. So I started the Zoom session, and I popped a White Claw and drank it. And then I looked at him, and I took off my shirt. And I just sat there starting the Zoom session with a White Claw and my shirt off.
Yeah,
And
really
they
setting
all
the mood.
they all ding into the audition, and they're like, hi, you know what I mean? And it was just one of those that I was like, I would have never done that if I was walking into a room. It just
Hmm.
I wouldn't have done it because it was, you think about professionalism and stuff, but thanks to the Zoom, I was like, I'm sitting in my home. How do I make this character mine? And like, what do
Hmm.
I bring to this weird dynamic that we have going on with this Zoom sessions? And I just basically started it with my shirt off and just dove in for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. And obviously it left an impression. The reaction was pretty positive to you inhabiting the character in that way.
Yeah.
Do you typically, well, in terms of auditions, you've obviously found success in the audition room, self-tapes and whatnot. What's your number one piece of advice for the actors out there on leaving an impression like that and making the most of your time with casting directors?
And it's so different now because I talked to one of the casting directors and she was like, we don't know if we'll ever go back to fully in-person auditions.
Yeah.
They think it'll stay online. And it's your job, you get a limited amount of time, but now you don't have a limited amount of time. Obviously you don't want to waste their time, but you have to make the most out of your time. But now it's a lot longer because now you
Hmm.
get to show yourself, through your slate or before you start, most likely after you finish the tape or finish the script, you can sort of give a little bit of yourself. And you want to put a lot into it. You really want to read the script and pay attention to details because now more than ever, it's more important about clothing, about voice, about the style in which you film it. Like there's so many things that go into it now. It's, actors for auditions now aren't just actors. They're kind of directors in their own way. They
Hmm.
kind of get to create their own atmosphere, where we're going to film this, how we're going to film it. And I think you take advantage of that. And I think you run with it and show as much as you possibly can and be as creative as possible.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, as a final question for you then, thanks again for sharing your time with us. Obviously, this is just the latest and greatest of what you're up to. What's next on your bucket list, acting wise? What kind of projects are you hoping to get into?
I mean, who knows? My blinders are open right now. I'm just kind of figuring out what's going to come my way next. But if I had to pick, it would definitely be